Imagine being turned away from a luxury hotel because of the color of your skin, despite being one of the wealthiest individuals on the planet. This is exactly what happened to a black billionaire, denied service at an exclusive white-owned hotel. But here's where the story takes a dramatic turn. What if the billionaire didn't let this injustice slide? What if he turned this snub into something much bigger? In a twist of fate, he returns to that very hotel, but this time as its new owner asterisk. How did he make this incredible comeback? And what did he do to claim what was rightfully his? This is a story of power, persistence, and a dramatic shift in the balance of control. Stay tuned to find out how he turned the tables and became the one who called the shots in a hotel that once turned him away. It all started on a quiet evening when the billionaire, known for his strategic investments and business acumen, arrived at the hotel, ready to check in after a long flight. His reputation preceded him, with billions in assets and a legacy of breaking barriers. But the moment he stepped into the lobby, the atmosphere changed. The staff hesitated, exchanging uneasy glances. He was informed, coldly, that the hotel did not have a room available for someone like him. The denial, veiled in politeness, was unmistakably rooted in deep-seated prejudice. Outraged but composed, he left without causing a scene. But what seemed like a simple rejection would spark something much bigger. He knew the hotel was struggling financially, despite its prestigious name. Behind the polished facade, rumors of declining profits swirled, and the billionaire saw an opportunity, not for revenge, but for a new kind of justice. What would he do next? That's the question that kept everyone guessing. For weeks, the billionaire could not shake the sting of that moment. He wasn't just angry. He was deeply disturbed by the casual cruelty, a reminder of the systemic racism that still lingered in the highest echelons of society. But instead of letting the bitterness consume him, he began to plan. He studied the hotel's ownership, its financial records, and the connections it had built over the years. It wasn't long before he uncovered something unsettling. The once lavish hotel was barely staying afloat, relying on outdated management practices and a dwindling customer base. But that wasn't all. There were whispers among the staff, employees who were tired of the elitism and discrimination they witnessed daily, but felt powerless to speak up. Some had even dreamed of a change in leadership. Meanwhile, the hotel's owners, a wealthy and influential family, were facing mounting pressure from their investors. The billionaire knew that this was his moment, not just to take ownership, but to bring about a real shift. He made his move, quietly buying up shares, inching closer to his goal. But as he got closer to the top, he started noticing strange occurrences. Documents mysteriously went missing, and the more aggressive his bid became, the more tense the atmosphere around him grew. The hotel owners were not about to give up without a fight, and it became clear they were prepared to do anything to protect their legacy, even if it meant risking everything. What lengths would they go to in order to maintain their power? And would the billionaire succeed in his mission, or would the forces aligned against him prove too strong? The stakes were higher than ever. The closer the billionaire got to taking control, the more ruthless the hotel's owners became. They fought him at every turn, launching smear campaigns, spreading rumors, and attempting to discredit him publicly. Behind the scenes, they were scrambling to hold on to what little power they had left, using every connection and ally they had to prevent the inevitable. But the billionaire, unmoved by their tactics, continued to push forward, inching closer to the final deal. As the day of the board meeting approached, the atmosphere inside the hotel grew tense. Employees whispered in the hallways, knowing that something big was coming. Some, loyal to the billionaire's vision of a more inclusive, fair establishment, started to rally behind him in secret. They began gathering evidence of the corruption that had been allowed to fester within the walls, all the while aware that they could lose everything if they were caught. The night before the critical vote, the billionaire received an anonymous message. It was a threat, clear and direct. Back off or you'll regret it. It wasn't the first time he had been targeted, but this felt different. The intensity of the threat hinted at the lengths to which the hotel's owners were willing to go to keep control. He knew this was it. He was about to face the full force of the opposition, and there was no turning back now. Tension hung thick in the air. Would the billionaire's careful strategy pay off, or would the powerful forces working against him succeed in keeping the hotel in their grip? The battle was about to reach its boiling point, and the world would soon see if he would emerge victorious, or if this would be the moment that destroyed everything he had worked for. As the billionaire prepared for the final vote the next day, he received an unexpected visitor, a former hotel employee, now working for one of the owners. The employee was nervous, almost frantic, as they relayed a shocking piece of information. The hotel's owners weren't just fighting to keep control. They were planning something far more dangerous. In a secret meeting held behind closed doors, the owners had struck a deal with a powerful financial backer, someone with connections deep within the government and law enforcement. They weren't just going to outbid the billionaire. They were going to destroy his reputation and use their influence to ensure he could never succeed. If it meant ruining him financially, professionally, or even personally, they were willing to go to any length. The news hit like a lightning bolt. The billionaire knew the stakes were higher than he had ever anticipated. It wasn't just about business anymore. His very freedom and future were now under threat. But what really shook him was the realization that someone close to him, a trusted advisor, might be in on the conspiracy. With time running out, the billionaire had to scramble to protect himself, all while navigating a web of lies, betrayal, and mounting danger. Who could he trust now? And would the owners go as far as to put his life at risk? Or was this all a part of their elaborate scheme to break his spirit? The tension had reached its peak, and the countdown to the final showdown had begun. The clock was ticking, and the billionaire was running out of options. The final board meeting arrived, and the tension was unbearable. The billionaire walked into the room, his face calm but his mind racing. He had carefully laid out his plan, rallied allies, and uncovered the secret deal the owners had been hiding. But the threat to his reputation still loomed large. The room was filled with investors and the hotel's owners, all watching him closely. He could feel the weight of the moment, the eyes of the world on him as this battle for power unfolded. As the vote was about to begin, the billionaire stood up. He had one final move to make. With a steady hand, he revealed the evidence. Documents proving the owners had been involved in fraudulent activities and corrupt dealings for years. But it didn't stop there. He also unveiled the threats made against him, the collusion with outside forces to destroy his business. The room fell silent. The owners, realizing they had been exposed, scrambled to protect themselves, but it was too late. As the vote went in his favor, the billionaire felt a wave of triumph. He had done it. The hotel, now his, would finally change, ushering in a new era of inclusivity and fairness. But just when it seemed like victory was his, the final twist hit. As the meeting adjourned, the billionaire received a call from his trusted advisor, the one he thought was on his side. "I never wanted to hurt you," the advisor said, voice trembling. "But I had no choice. I've been working with them all along. The owners, the backers. They had something on me. I had to make sure you didn't win." In that moment, everything he thought he knew about the game he had been playing shattered. The victory was bittersweet. Yes, the hotel was his. Yes, the corrupt owners were out. But the real cost of this battle wasn't the property. It was the trust that had been broken, the relationships that had been destroyed. The billionaire stood there, holding the phone in his hand, staring at the future that now lay ahead. He had won the fight, but the war, for control, for trust,